If you've been following my channel for any length of time now, you'll know that I have a soft spot for compact mechanical keyboards. The Drevo Calibur and recently released Calibur V2 have been my go-to budget compact offerings for some time now. Well, a new contender has entered the ring and at an even lower price point. And honestly, I think it's at least worth a look. The Magic Refiner Mark 14 is a 68-key mechanical gaming keyboard that sells for an impressive $40. Unlike previous reviews that I've done, this is not available on Amazon, so I do not have an affiliate link to provide you. However, GearBest, a Chinese e-tailer, has this keyboard and many other gaming peripherals available at a budget price point over on their site, and you can find that in the video description. The Mark 14 has an understated design language with a boxy minimalistic frame. The matte black body and keycaps are to be expected, but I was surprised to see a white backplate. Now, I eventually figured out why that was, and I'll explain later on, but I'll give you a minute to think about it first. The font choice is large and mostly legible, but you may find some special characters to be hard to decipher. It also crams the arrows into the modifiers to give it an even more compact look, and somehow they managed to eliminate an entire row of keys, making it more compact than the Calibur. It does feature true mechanical switches, which at this price point is pretty impressive. Now, these are Jixian switches, and pardon me if I get the name messed up. I've only reviewed one other product that had these switches, and from my experience, they seem to work okay. They're definitely found more in budget offerings, though. It's almost as if Aotemu is to Cherry what Jixian is to Aotemu. These are definitely bottom-tier mechanical switches. It even has RGB lighting with an impressive 18 effects to choose from, and as we've become accustomed to, you can change the speed, direction, intensity, and even switch to a game mode which illuminates the WASD keys and the directional arrows. And if you don't like that configuration, game mode can also be a separate profile where you have per key RGB lighting customization. Also very impressive for a product of this price. It has a detachable USB-C cable, which is suspiciously short at just under 5 feet. Now, if this were a wireless keyboard, this would be totally acceptable because you only need it plugged in for however long it takes to charge, but this needs to be plugged in 24/7, which means you're going to be routing it probably around or under your desk, and it needs to be a little bit longer for most people. However, the Velcro strap is a nice addition, and this in combination with its small size make it a great device for taking on the go. Large, non-slip rubber pads on the bottom fold out to become sturdy feet, and the F1 through F12 and media and multimedia keys are all accessible by using the function key, and those keycaps are ABS plastic, but from my experience they seem to do an okay job of deterring fingerprints. Now, my experience with the product was basically just what I expected. I had to keep pulling my expectations down though, because I'll keep saying it, it's a $40 product. So you have to keep that in mind when you're reviewing something like this. Some of the features it has, though, I'm really impressed that it does have. But let's first take a look at the typing. We'll do a typing test, and there's no other way to put this. This is the loudest keyboard I have ever tested, and it's not even close. If you live alone and you use headphones, then this probably won't matter much to you, but if you occupy a space with anyone else, especially in an office setting, or you listen to your music over the speakers, this is going to be incredibly distracting. Now, it does feel pretty good. As you would imagine, it feels similar to a Cherry MX Blue, but if you can imagine, it's even louder and more tactile than that. But the consistency between the keys isn't great. Some are louder than others, some feel like they take more actuation force than others. Overall, the QA of those switches don't seem to be up to par with the more expensive counterparts. And I found that as you're typing, despite those huge pads on the bottom of the keyboard, it still has a bit of a tendency to slide around. The lighting I found to be the most impressive part of this budget offering. It's incredibly bright and vibrant, and that's aided by that white backplate, which reflects light a lot more than a typical black backplate that you'd find on a black keyboard. As impressive as the lighting was, once you get it figured out, the setup was confusing, and you'll definitely want to hold on to those instructions because this is not intuitive and you're probably not going to figure it out without them. As I alluded earlier, the quality control on this device isn't great. I already mentioned the inconsistency between the switches, but even bigger problems than that exist in that the escape key, the red LED seems to be burnt out. If you're displaying a color that's blue or green or anywhere in between, then it should display fine, but if you try to do a color combination that includes red, it's going to look off. Now, the color combination that I decided to go with on this actually didn't use red on the escape key, so I didn't notice that for a while. Really, if you're buying a keyboard, I think it's a reasonable expectation that all the LEDs are going to work. Also, what is up with the fonts? The R and the Y keys on this do not match the rest of the keyboard. They're an entirely different font family. They're not the blocky and large, thick, bolded lettering that you find on the rest of the keyboard. It's almost as if they ran out of R's and Y's and had to pull them from a completely different keyboard. My concluding thoughts can be wrapped up into a single question. How valuable is $10 to you? That's what separates this from the Calibur, which is my go-to recommendation. There are some quality concerns with this, and if it were my money, I would rather save up a little bit more and get something that's been a little bit more tested and doesn't have as many immediately apparent flaws. But if you're completely restricted to that $35 to $40 budget, then I would continue to look on GearBest because they have a lot of really good offerings around this price range, but shop around and maybe find one that's been tested a little bit more long-term to make sure that you're getting what you pay for. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you appreciated this review or you found it helpful, then give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you know when our newest content is ready to watch. Now, we do giveaways every month. I'm not going to be giving this keyboard away just because of those quality control issues. I want to make sure stuff I'm giving to you guys actually really works if you're going to be getting it. But we will be doing other giveaways, so make sure you always check the video description. And also down there you'll find our affiliate links and also links to buy our merchandise, which helps us directly. If you want to help us out and you like the content we make, then please pick those up. We think they're pretty awesome, and we think you will too. If you want to watch other reviews that we've done, don't forget to check those out here. And we appreciate you guys watching this one. We'll catch you in the next one.